Now let's do a little analysis of our test flight. So plus sign on the top left, create a new sheet, delete the table, double click on the word sheet 1 or on the letters sheet 1, and let's call this test. And for test, we might add an emoji that looks like a graph or a chart. So here on the test sheet, I want to add in the video that I've already recorded of my test flight. So I'm going to tap on the plus sign, select media. I'll add photo or video. And here I have the video of my paper airplane's test flight. That looks pretty great if you ask me, but I'd like to do a little bit of further analysis here. So I'm actually going to use an app called Video Physics, and this is a paid app, so it's not a free app. But here I'll be able to plot the trajectory of my object and gather a little bit of information. So I'm going to create a new experiment and select my test flight video. And within Video Physics, I will be able to plot the trajectory of my object. So I want to make sure that I'm plotting the tip of the airplane and I am only plotting the points at which the airplane is in the air. So Video Physics has been a great tool for us both within the physics classroom during in-person instruction, but also at home during distance learning. Without access to our physics tools in the classroom, it can be very difficult for students to replicate or create at-home labs. And Video Physics is one way that they can actually gather some position, velocity, and acceleration data from experiments that they conduct on their own. So here I need to set my origin and scale, so I will set it about there. I'll make sure that that looks about right. 1 meter, because I've pre-measured this curtain rod, 1 meter was up to this hole. Great. So that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to open this up in Graphical Analysis. Graphical Analysis is the app that we have been using to do all of our analysis of our graphs. And sorry about that. Reason being, the graphing functions in numbers does leave a little bit to be desired, and we found that graphical analysis on the iPad is most similar to Logger Pro on the desktops, and we don't have as many desktops in the classroom, so graphical analysis has been a great tool for us. So as you can see here, when I export that data to graphical analysis, I can choose to look at X and Y information at the same time or singularly. So for now, I will look at X position versus time and X velocity versus time. Here I can always do a curve fit and linear. Hopefully it's linear. And you can see here within the analysis box, I can see the slope of this graph, which on a velocity graph would tell me the acceleration. So this object had an x direction acceleration of 6.467, which can be helpful in telling students how hard or how much force they are applying to an object when they launch it into a projectile motion. So I could always screenshot this. And now I want to look at Y velocity and Y position. I'll toggle those on. And here we've already got the curve fit on our Y velocity, and I can see that my vertical acceleration is 7.36. So we always kind of like this vertical acceleration to be close to 9.8 gravity, unless there's a significant amount of air resistance. So this doesn't look too bad. I will screenshot this data, and then I can add them back into my worksheet. So here I will choose to add photos, and I think I'll add both of these. Let's resize them so they fit next to each other. And that looks pretty good. And if your students want to annotate for emphasis, they can absolutely do that with the drawing tool. So here, let's not choose the crayon. So here they can show the acceleration for each of the graphs. And if they don't want these annotations to move, you can always lock them. So we'll go to Format, Arrange, and Lock. Another way to add annotations to these photos, as we just saw in the previous video, is to use the markup tool within photos themselves. The only thing to consider there is that the markup will live on the photo, so it will be changed. Here, if I'm annotating within numbers, then I still have the unannotated version of the photo living in my photo gallery should I want to use it in a different way.